be an absolute cracker. That's up after the break. Saturday night, it is a monster clash between two informed teams. The Adelaide Crows, led by Tex Walker, can they kick a goal? And the Sydney Swans, who are in good form all over the ground. Promises to be an absolute ripper. What about Luke Parker, Eddie Betts? The stars all over the field coming up this weekend in that huge clash that we've seen on Saturday afternoon. Welcome back to League Teams. And we've had a minor change. Somebody's having a resurgence as we go to our Wild Turkey Bourbon Game of the Week and the Adelaide Ins and Outs. We'll have a look at that. That's coming up on Channel 504. Coverage starts at 7:30pm. Tom Lynch, probably, arguably, the best lead-up forward in the comp at the moment, returns for Adelaide. And Jarrett McVeigh and Dean Towers come in at the expense of Georgie Hewitt and Zach Jones go out. This is our game where we have the match committee set up for us. These are the two teams as they've been listed and handed in tonight. And we have a look through there. Thompson once again in the middle of the ground. He's having a wonderful season. Jenkins, Walker, Lynch and Eddie Betts are arguably the most potent forward line in the comp right at this point in time. You
can go to the other end of the ground. The likes of Lever, Brown, Laird, Tarley is a good nullifying defender. Yep. But I think they've surprised a lot of people. Everyone thought no Dangerfield, no Adelaide sort of thing. But the way they're running, both offensively and defensively, they're very impressive at the moment.
Seedsman and Smith are the two for me at the moment. They're the ones that are driving the ball long. Like they're 100-metre players at the moment, the way that they're running and kicking the ball.
Saw a bit of this team last week, Derm, and the Sydney Swans, super impressive.
Look at their strength indicator, Lynchy, 99%. They've
got a fit list. That's very fit. Say. They're not missing too much, and that has gone up from last week because McVeigh comes back into the side. So just another quality midfielder, but one of their real leaders as well. Down back, Teddy Richards had a good game last week. Rampy and Smith running well. Layla's been playing pretty well as well, and Big Buddy Franklin just seems to be just rolling into his game quite nicely. A big last quarter, which was the major difference just to put GWS away. And young Isaac Heaney, super impressive.
Oh, that boy can play, no doubt about it. This is our game where we have our match committee ply their trade. These two fellas, Donny Pike, there he is, he's been wonderful in the opening 3 games of his career as a league coach. And the Horse, premiership coach, is he about to cop some advice from this panel? Some of it might even be good. No, it's all good. Let's have a look at our positions here. The chairman does nothing. Lynchy, you've got the oppo. Parko's got the defence. And Jono, you have the forward line. Parko, how about we start with your opposition analysis as the defence?
Well, I've seen them both similarly, I have to say, that they're both most attacking teams in the competition. I think Sydney running 3 and Adelaide number 1 in scoring. Sydney number 2 in defence. I guess that's why they're on top at the moment. And Adelaide struggling a bit. We've named the players there. I don't think their back halves, either of their back halves, are as good as their midfields and forwards. And I think the strength of it has been Sydney has not allowed the ball to get back into the back half as often. They've been so good, their midfield, in working in that position, but
Midfield's
also
covering a bit for them.
and rolling and going back. They've been unbelievable without the ball in terms of the pressure they put on the opposition. You can see it, it's clear. This has been one of the great aspects. As defensively as the moment, as good as anybody in the competition other than the Western Bulldogs, would you believe? So I think this game will be won by the ability of the midfields to protect their back half. I think that Sydney have by far the best unit there.
And you saw a couple of newer names. I mean, Mitchell has been around for a couple of years and his level is going up. The one that's been around for probably 4 or 5 years now, but he's one of the elite players in the competition, Luke Parker. I mean, he's doing it all. He's racking up big numbers, big contested numbers as well. He took near mark of the week or mark of the year last week, near smashed Isaac Heaney on the way down. But he is a very accomplished player, so it takes a bit of the focus off a few of their more experienced players.
Jono, let's have a look at your area of the ground, the forward.
I am, and I'm going to focus on Adelaide's forward line. It's just so strong at the moment, so potent, and Lynch comes back into that. He was a late omission last week. His wife gave birth to a little girl, Taylor, so congratulations to Lynchy with that. But look, he comes back in, so he's going to bolster what is already extremely strong with Betts and Walker and Jenkins and these sort of guys. I like the way they're just setting up at forward stoppages at the moment. I think Rory Sloane kicked the goal off the back of the stoppage last week, but it just had Richmond thinking because their forwards just don't set up too far away. They're trying to block the switch, of course, but they're still squeezing it up a little bit, so they're just making the opposition think a little bit about the way they want to go. Plus, I love the way their forwards are working both ways, transitioning up the ground.
Where's the ball now?
The ball is going inside forward 50, deep there to the goal square of Richmond. Intercept mark by the Adelaide Crows, and off they go. There are three forwards we're focused on there at the top of the screen. Betts, Jenkins and Taylor Walker. Taylor Walker is the one running to the logo now. He's done the longest run out of the three here to become a link. But the pleasing thing is for Adelaide, what they're doing well is they're kicking long from the logo and kicking the ball 55, 60 metres on a regular basis to go over the top of the last line of the zone. And that's where Adelaide were able to capitalise because Jenkins got out the back, Taylor Walker did the full loop and still gets there for an easy handball receive as the last player. Eddie Betts probably was the smartest of the three with his run, but in the end he didn't get it. But how many goals does he get like that as well throughout the season?
And
so
I'd
it's
say
just
Damien
so hard to
Hardwick
stop.
could look at that and say, what were those two central defenders?
Yeah, well, that's right.
Standing next to each other, or split either way and give assistance to both.
Just saying, Walker's run, we don't see him as that great, but that movement there to get into the right position
Exactly.
is fantastic.
And the challenge for Adelaide is Sydney, that vision we just saw there around the footy, how strong Sydney are, can they get that release to allow them to score goals like that this week?
Lynchy, let's have a look at the opposition and your thoughts.
Yeah, we're going to have a focus on the Wild Turkey head-to-head of the week, and it should be a cracking matchup. Two very similar players, and it is Scotty Thompson taking on Josh Kennedy, and both powerful beasts. Scotty Thompson will play his 250th game for the Adelaide Crows, his 289th in AFL football. Obviously, he played the 39 for the Melbourne Football Club, up against Josh Kennedy, who is, once again, a super player. Their numbers are fairly similar, averaging 29 and close to 26. Contested ball, they're contested ball beasts and stars. Their clearances are the same. They're both tackling machines as well. I think it was Kennedy last week, it had 13. Their goals, they're powerful in the forward 50 stoppages as well, so very dangerous. I think this will be a cracking contest. Both have other good midfielders around them, but I'd love to see who comes out on top between these two. Both physically intimidating. I'd say they're both in their mid-90 kilos and probably about 6'1". Great players.
Well, Joshy's a bit bigger than that too.
A bit bigger than that.
Yeah, he's over 190. He's around the 6'3", 3.5 mark. Yeah, he's a big unit. Who are you going for, mate?
I'm going for Adelaide.
Oh, on the fence.
Yeah.
Sydney just.
I'm going to go the Crows. Sydney were great,
Wow.
but Crows at home.
We've got 3-1. Adelaide. I'm going for Adelaide. I think their pressure is just absolutely at the top end. So is Sydney's, but you can't stay up all the time. And Sydney travelling to a different shaped ground, different width ground, different length ground, it just might be the recipe which knocks them over.
And when the Giants ran the ball last week, they got through.
Separated
Sydney.
them a bit. Yeah,
they did. So on the outside, they could get hurt.
Bit of extra length there. All right, well, let's go to our